There is a small world within you. A quiet world. A vast world. A world deeper than words can reach. And yet, as the years pass, many of us begin to live inside only a small corner of it. We look through the same window. Walk the same roads. Think the same thoughts. Return to the same conclusions. What is familiar feels safe. What is familiar feels certain. What is familiar becomes home. And there is nothing wrong with that. But when we spend too long looking at the sky through only one window, we can slowly forget how wide the sky truly is. Above you, there are more clouds than you have ever seen. More winds than you have ever felt. More light than you have ever imagined. Unknown colors. Unknown horizons. Unknown possibilities. The width of thought is not measured by how much you know. It is measured by how many windows you are willing to open. One window reveals a landscape. A second window reveals another. And suddenly, what seemed absolute becomes only one view among many. The event remains the same. The words remain the same. Life remains the same. Yet when the window changes, meaning changes too. A rainy day. One person calls it misfortune. Another calls it nourishment. Another hears silence. Another discovers poetry. None are entirely wrong. None are entirely right. Each is simply a different way of seeing. The world is one. Ways of seeing are countless. And perhaps that is why so much suffering is born, not from life itself, but from becoming trapped inside a single perspective. It must be this way. It should be that way. There is no other path. The more these thoughts accumulate, the smaller the room of the heart becomes. The air grows stale. The light grows dim. The space begins to close. Yet sometimes, all it takes is opening one small window. Listening to someone whose story is different from yours. Reading a book. Watching the movement of clouds. Walking through a forest. Traveling to an unfamiliar place. Pausing. Simply pausing. And when you encounter an idea that does not match your own, instead of rejecting it, allow yourself to quietly observe it. Nothing more. Nothing less. Little by little, new windows appear. And with every window, the horizon expands. What grows is not merely knowledge. What grows is spaciousness. A heart with spaciousness is soft. A soft heart is not weak. It bends without breaking. Like bamboo swaying beneath the wind. flexible, rooted, alive. Life will always bring change, unexpected turns, unanswered questions, unexpected meetings, unexpected farewells, doors that close without warning, paths that disappear beneath your feet. These moments arrive for all of us, again and again. And when they do, the width of your thinking becomes a quiet companion. Not the ability to find the right answer, but the ability to see another possibility. When one door closes, you notice another. When failure appears, you find a lesson. When the road becomes longer, you discover meaning within the detour. When things remain unfinished, you begin to see beauty in imperfection. This is the gift of a wider perspective. It expands the choices available to your life. It expands your world. It expands your heart. It expands the person you are becoming. And something curious happens along the way. The wider your perspective becomes, the gentler you become. Toward others. Toward life. Toward yourself. You become less afraid of differences. Less threatened by unfamiliar beliefs. More willing to honor another person's path. Because eventually, you begin to notice what nature has always known. The cherry blossom does not compete with the hydrangea. The hydrangea does not compare itself to the dandelion. Each flower blooms in its own season. Each flower carries its own beauty. Each flower follows its own way. Human beings are no different. Each person carries a different sky, a different story, a different journey. A different flower waiting to bloom. The wider your perspective becomes, the easier it is to see this truth. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to offer that same kindness to yourself. The chains begin to loosen. I must be this. I must become that. I should have done more. I should have been different. These old burdens begin to soften. And in their place, a gentle freedom appears. This is fine. That is fine too. There is room. There is space. There is breath. Within you, a quiet sky begins to open. The sky rejects nothing. Not white clouds. Not dark clouds. Not rain. Not rainbows. It allows all things to pass through. Your heart was created with that same vastness. The journey of expanding your perspective is not a journey to change the world. It is a journey to remember the sky that already exists within you. A sky that is wide. A sky that is silent. A sky that is endlessly free. It has always been there. Long before your worries. Long before your fears. Long before the stories you learned to tell yourself. And even now, it remains. Quietly. Patiently. Open. So if today feels small, remember this. Your world can still expand. Your possibilities can still expand. There is more life ahead than you can currently see. And waiting beyond the horizon may be something very simple. A softer smile. A lighter breath. A quieter heart. The freedom to be exactly as you are. Perhaps that is what awaits at the far edge of a broadened mind. Not achievement. Not certainty. Not perfection. But a gentle happiness. A happiness that asks for nothing. A happiness that has been waiting within you all along. And like the sky, it is already here.